Remember how I was saying in yesterday's live stream and podcast that Trump's address the other night was going to be one of the most consequential of all time? It turns out it is. I was actually right on that, even though I suck at predictions. But here's what I didn't get, what I didn't see coming. Most consequential for some of the stupidest takes that have ever come from any address from really any human being to any body of people. This Nontroversy that's come out about this, about the Trump hot mic moment to a Supreme Court justice. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I mean, hands down, it's unbelievable. But we've also got America's worst mayors all collected in one place over the Sanctuary Cities hearing yesterday. Here's a little bit more fun, though, to get out of politics. Even though that's not really about politics, it's about reaction to it. The stranded astronauts, who you were told, and I was told, for now going on 9 months. They're not stranded. They're not stranded. No, not true. We just want to make sure they're home safely. No. They gave a big hint yesterday that they were actually stranded. Yes, they were, even though they couldn't say anything. We heard from one of the astronauts. These were the ones in the Boeing Starliner that screwed it up completely. The astronauts didn't. Boeing did. And now they're up there. They gave a big hint yesterday about what's really going on. And what's really going on, are we ready? Are you ready? Am I ready for woolly mammoth mice? No, we're not. Did they not see Jurassic Park? That's all I'm going to say. It's an awesome... I know you've seen the pictures of these little critters, but can we stop now? Great, cool, you figured it out. Now let's slow things down a little bit. All right, let's pick it up, actually. Thanks for finding Wicked Radio, and the audio podcast is there for you. Wherever you want to get them, whatever podcast platform, usually posts about 9 a.m. when the wind is with me. Also live stream for you audio listeners, which is now, interestingly enough, outpacing the live stream viewers. I didn't see that coming. We're live every single day on X and YouTube and Facebook and all that good stuff. But let's get to it and let's have some fun. We've got the Trump address to Congress the other night still making waves. But not for the reasons you may expect. No, the stupidest hot mic moment controversy I've ever heard in my life. I'm just going to go right to it and give it right to you, okay? And you tell me what's controversial about this, because they're dying. You know, people in your office today or at your family gathering or somebody at the barbecue this weekend. Is it warm enough up in the northern cities to have barbecues? Anyway, who are trying to make this a controversy. They're just grasping at any straw they possibly can. This is when he's exiting the chamber the other night.
Thank you again. Thank you again. Don't forget. So good.
That's Trump. Thank you. Thank you again. In a kind of like boosted up audio moment to John Roberts. And here's I could give you the headlines. I could give you the takes. I could give you some of the things. Trump proves that he has the Supreme Court in his back pocket to give him immunity. This is what it's all about. Trump's hot mic moment to the Supreme Court. This is why, and this is the takeaway. You know, some wicked wisdom coming in. I can feel it. Here it comes. Here it comes in. Don't ever listen to people who can't even do 5 minutes of research to find out why he may have said that to John Roberts. No, not 5 minutes. 30 seconds now of research to find out why he maybe would have said that. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I won't forget it. Because that's the justice that swore him in. You absolute dopes. It doesn't take a lot to actually even think about this. So again, people that just have an axe to grind, they're looking for anything. It really speaks to the desperation. It really is. Because if you are of the woke mind virus and all you do is consume CNN and mostly MSNBC and you know, your friends online, you're looking for anything. You're looking for anything to try to find a controversy. Well, this is the biggest non-troversy of all time to come from this. He's paying. I heard that one too. I read that one. He's paying off the Supreme Court justices. Let's look at his hands. Did he give him cash? He's thanking him for swearing him in. Hand on the Bible kind of stuff. Can we put this one to bed already? I can't believe it even lasted longer than 10 minutes. The takeaway again, just don't even entertain any nonsense from somebody that can't even do any research to find out a little bit of logic on why he may be thanking that Supreme Court justice directly. You know, maybe, right? Yeah. Here's logic as well. We were told now for 9 months, we're going on 10 months, that the stranded astronauts aboard the International Space Station, they're not stranded. No, they just decided to stay up longer. They're not stranded. This wasn't politics. Well, in a couple of weeks, I think the exact date, it might be like 10 days. I'll check on that, but it'll be a big deal. We all wondered, and this goes back to the Boeing Starliner. Thanks again, Boeing, for screwing up another one. They sent the two astronauts Butch Wilmore and Suni Williams up to the ISS, which was actually, it's a cool thing. Space exploration is great. Boeing couldn't figure out how to get him back up and get him home, basically, is the long and short of the entire thing, because Boeing screwed up again. Nice job. Nice work. So we all asked the question, well, SpaceX has taken, I think the total of number of humans they've taken to the International Space Station is now, it's over 50, I think, over the past couple of years. So why can't we just send up SpaceX to do it and get up there and get them home? Turns out Elon was thinking the same thing we did. And you might have heard, he said it many times, he's written it as well. He said on the Joe Rogan podcast not too long ago, that exact same number of how many humans they've sent up to the ISS, and said, we can do this. We can do that. Now, Elon has gone so far as to say, we offered this up when Biden was president, and that administration turned us down. Well, that caused all kinds of controversy. That caused a big deal. Say, no, politics didn't play a part. That's not true. This was all technological things. That's what this was. Okay, well, add this into the mix and you can make up your own mind on this, okay? This is what Elon did, what he said here recently to try to update it a little bit. Elon, the astronauts were only supposed to be up there for 8 days. Now they've been up there for 8 months. SpaceX could have spent up another Dragon and brought them home. The Biden White House, not NASA, refused to allow it. Now, he said that all along. So is it true? Well, I tend to kind of like wait to see how it all happens when the astronauts get home and they speak for themselves, right? And they're going to be retired and they're not going to face any consequences and whatever. But they're speaking out because there was a press conference. And it's so cool when they do this in space. And they have a bunch of reporters line up in the queue. A little bit of a delay here, you'll hear. And they get to ask them questions. Well, a reporter from the Washington Post, and I'll play the reporter's question as well because I think it's like relevant to the story. They asked one of them, Butch Wilmore, directly the question, did politics play a part? Is what Elon is saying true or not? Now, you make up your own mind on what he's saying, but this is a very, very, I'd say politically correct answer. A very diplomatic answer from an astronaut who, by the way, is just trying to get home, okay? They're doing their best to tell you everything's fine, it's great, we're doing awesome. They want to get home. That much of the story we do know. But here's what he said, and you read the tea leaves in this one.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for doing this. So my question relates to Elon Musk has said that he made the offer to bring you guys back earlier and that it was denied. My first question is that true? And if so, what would that have looked like? Was he offering to make another flight, push seats on another flight? Could you give us some background there?
A little delay because they're speaking to space. And here's Butch.
I can only say that Mr. Musk, what he says is absolutely factual. We have no information on that, though, whatsoever. What was offered, what was not offered, who it was offered to, how that processes went. That's information that we simply don't have. So I believe him. I don't know all those details, and I don't think any of us really can give you the answer that you would be hoping for.
No. Before anybody attacks Butch Wilmore, the astronaut here, understand, again, like I said, this is a guy that's trying to get home. He still has to deal with NASA, still has to deal with Boeing, really. And SpaceX, in about, I think it's like less than 2 weeks, is going to go up. And as it turns out, SpaceX is going to rescue them. They're going to get them out of there and bring them home. It's supposed to be 8 days. It's been over 8 months, okay? You tell me they're not stranded now when you hear him just say that. But again, oh, it's out there again. No, he didn't say that. He already said right there in the interview that he doesn't have all the facts. No, that's not true. Then why would he go out of the way to say, I think everything Elon said is factual? That's correct. But I don't know everything. That to me sounds like a guy that will tell us down the road, it might be a year, it might be 2 years. I don't know, it might be in like 3 weeks. Who knows? Exactly what the deal was and what they were really told. But keep in mind right now, that's a guy who's saying, I want to get home and I don't want to screw this up. That's all. So that's my answer. But I'm not going to sit here and doubt Elon Musk. If it winds up being, and it will, SpaceX, Elon's company, saving these folks because they are stranded, doesn't all the information point to them getting turned down before? Because if they can do it now, they could have done it 7 months ago or 8 months ago when it first happened. If you've listened to Butch and you listen to his comment to the reporter there, it sure sounds like what we're going to find out at the end of this is they could have been rescued many, many months ago. But that would have been a win. That would have been win for Elon, and he was deep into the woods in the campaign at the time, right? Playing politics with that. Sounds like an astronaut who just wants to get home to me. But let's just hope they get home because They're awesome, and what they do is incredible. So that's the main thing. We should all be focusing on getting them back and getting them safely. Well, we found America's worst mayors, even though we knew them before. But what's interesting was yesterday they were all collected in one place. These are the sanctuary city mayors. Now, there are a lot more sanctuary cities throughout the country, but these are the headliners, right? We had Mayor Wu. You heard me talk about her. I think she's America's worst mayor from Boston. Mayor Wu Wu, or Mayor Wuhan, if you prefer. Eric Adams from New York City. Brandon Johnson from Chicago. Mike Johnson from Denver. They were all there, and they had to face some questioning from members of Congress and a panel put together to ask them how many illegal aliens, criminal element illegal aliens, are in your cities. How much do you spend? What's your plan to do about it? And why have you pushed back on ICE's efforts to get, not families, criminal illegal aliens, the ones that have committed crimes, that are on record as committing crimes? Why are they still running free in your streets? It was unbelievable. A lot of these things tend to be pretty boring. It's a congressional hearing. It is what it is. Sometimes, they're long. Hardly anybody goes on C-SPAN and watches this thing live. But this was really fascinating. You can hear Congressman Byron Donalds, who, by the way, is probably going to be the governor of Florida here pretty soon in a couple of years. The first line of questioning is to Eric Adams, asking him how much his city has spent on them. And then he asked Mayor Wu Wu from Boston, America's worst mayor, about this. Now, she's fascinating. She's got a rare combination of the woke mind virus, defiance, and there's also, for a Harvard-educated mayor, there's a real, I don't know how to put my finger on it, there's a real just denseness to her, where she really doesn't understand the situation and she can't read the room, which is happening a lot to higher academics. Somebody actually said this to me yesterday. These MAGA congressmen, they're out of their element talking to a Harvard-educated mayor. Are they really? Because I think a lot of the Congress people actually have a lot more real-world experience than she does. But listen to the answer now. Now listen for one thing specifically. When he's asking about the amount of numbers of criminal illegal aliens and the amount of money that they spent, always listen to the answer here. Here's Eric Adams at first, and then you got to hear Mayor Wu.
How much did the city of New York actually spend on illegal immigration?
$6.9 billion of taxpayers'
$6.9 billion of taxpayer money on a problem that was fostered on the American people. Mayor Wu, in the city of Boston, how much did you spend?
Here we go.
We don't ask about immigration status and delivering city
You don't
services,
ask
so
about
we
how
don't
much
have
money
that
the city
number.
of Boston has spent on illegal immigration?
We
Are you
don't
out of your
distinguish
mind?
between immigration status.
Do you
as
manage
part
your
of our
budget
city
or not,
policies.
Mayor Wu?
That is how we keep
Mayor
our city
Wu,
safe.
do you manage
we
your
have
budget or
the
not?
numbers to prove it. I manage my budget. I have a AAA bond rating dating back 10 years.
So to the city of Boston,
budget.
just understand that your mayor does not care how much of your resources she has spent on people who are not citizens
The city of Boston
the city of
is
Boston.
sick of having
I'm reclaiming
people
my
outside
time.
Boston
Mr.
telling
Bear,
us what
Mr.
we
Bear, I have a
need.
question.
Did you hear that at the end? That's her answer. The city of Boston is tired of people outside of their city telling them how to run their city. People. This is Congress. Well, here's the thing. Because she's been so defiant and so unbelievably clueless and so irresponsible in protecting the citizens of her city, like a lot of these mayors have, but she's just the worst example. She has now brought national attention to that city. And I don't know why I keep making predictions because I suck at them, but I'm pretty confident in this one. I would bet that the next massive ICE raid is probably coming to Boston. All these cities really, but they'll focus on Boston because now you hear that. Now these members of Congress hear that and hear the director of ICE, Tom Homan, hear that. He's like, wow, we know Boston's bad. We've heard from the residents. How bad is it if she's actually being that defiant and trying to keep any spotlight away from her city? Just absolutely awful. But the good news is, and this is how we all have to take this for all these cities. Feel for people stuck in cities like this who actually, in many cases, if you're in an impoverished neighborhood where a lot of the criminal element is actually hiding, you're in danger. I mean, it's just that's a fact of the matter. Here's how you have to take this, especially for those folks, but really for all of us. When they're that defiant, even though it's tough to go through at first, the end result is going to be something way, way better. Because when national attention gets focused on this, in a intense kind of way, things will get a lot better, a lot faster, for sure. She doesn't realize that because she has no situational awareness whatsoever. One of the classic academic woke mind virus politicians. It's bad enough when they go into corporate America, But when they go into government, the absolute worst, because they literally put people's lives at risk. That's her. That's her. Unbelievable. All right, let's lighten it up. Let's lighten it up with something horrifying. Not really. It's kind of a cool thing to check out. I'm sure by now, and this actually, the news broke yesterday, so the pictures are all over the place. Have you seen the woolly mice? So, scientists, and I remember I actually brought this up on the live stream. Probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 months ago. Scientists gathered enough DNA from fossils, from woolly mammoths. That's right. Dinosaur woolly mammoths from the prehistoric era, enough DNA, just a little bit, like a little scrap, to bring them back to existence. But you have to get that DNA into the first animal, crossbreed it with something else, and eventually we got woolly mammoths running down the street, right? Is that the goal? They would love to see it happen. Here's the background of the story and the company behind it. Tell me this doesn't sound like a horror movie. They're looking to bring back the woolly mammoth in the next few years. That's the timeline. That's how close they are. And it starts with woolly mice. You've seen the pictures, the little long-haired mice next to the regular mice. They're all cute and fuzzy. Beth Shapiro's here. She's the chief scientist at Colossal Biosciences. Talking about the mice. My God, that even sounds like it's out of a movie. Colossal Biosciences. All right. Why are they doing this? She explains
There's a lot of information out there about mice. So we could look at the genes that look like they have an important change in mammoths and see if the mouse version of those genes has ever been associated with a mouse that has the phenotype that we're interested in.
Okay, cool. You figured it out. They do. They look like little tiny woolly mammoths. You figured it out. Now cut the crap. Have they not seen Jurassic Park? You know you can do it. It doesn't mean you have to do it. Didn't they? Nature finds a way. Do we have to have this? I know it would be cool. I get it. I think it's cool already, but at some point you have to stop. Because you know what you're thinking. I'll say it, but you're thinking it. You know that they want to bring back a T-Rex. You know they do. Just say it. They want to bring back dinosaurs. They'll be running around the earth. And that would be awesome. Yes, it would. Do I want pterodactyls flying around? No, I don't. Just tell me you can do it, and that's good enough for me. Did they not see Jurassic Park? Really? But here's the thing. Even though I think it's cool, they're not going to stop. And you know why? Because most of the reaction yesterday to the woolly mice, and you've all seen the pictures and the videos in the lab, next to the guy who brought them out and put it right next to the regular mouse. You know why they're not going to stop? Because they have public support. You know why they have public support? Because they're cute. That's why. Because they're adorable little woolly mice. If these things turned out to be ugly little creatures with like the teeth on the outside and they were nasty and they had scales or something else, this would stop in its tracks. No public support, no funding whatsoever. But because they're cute, you know how human nature works, they're only going to keep on going. So they're going to crossbreed this with something else. I'll give it 3 years. We got woolly mammoths. You can buy your own woolly mammoth. That's right. And you know what's coming next? That's right. Colossal Bioscience is going to show you the first pterodactyl. I'm just saying. Okay. When they come flying down the street and grabbing your cat out of the neighborhood, don't blame me. I told you. Nobody's paying attention to Jurassic Park. All right. Tomorrow is Friday, which is amazing. Programming note. Let's see what the reaction is to this. But today, which is Thursday, the biggest news story set to drop, apparently, you know how the news cycle works. Trump is going to sign an executive order. And if you're listening on the audio podcast or watching later on the replay, maybe it's already happened. Executive order is coming to basically wipe out the Department of Education. I don't know why I'm still making predictions, but I would predict a major teacher walkout over this. But that is going to have far-reaching consequences and maybe long needed. We don't know. But I think we're going to be talking about that a lot tomorrow, along with some other stuff, some entertainment stuff. And I have an amazing feel-good story to talk about tomorrow, too, that I've held off for Friday because we're going to need it heading into the weekend. But with that said, first takeaway, never listen to the ramblings of conspiracy theory idiots who can't even do 30 seconds of research, like the Trump SCOTUS hot mic moment. Oh, you'll run into them at work today or this weekend. Don't argue with idiots. You can't. Don't debate idiots. They'll always win because they believe themselves. The second takeaway, as always, don't take any crap from anybody and don't let them create a woolly mammoth. Well, that's it. Thanks for finding me. Thanks for finding the audio podcast, too, and the replay. Whew. We're almost to Friday. We'll talk to you tomorrow.